Good evening. You're watching a special edition of The Big Story. I'm Olivia Quay. News just in. The Health Ministry today announced 47 new COVID-19 cases in Singapore. 16 are imported. 18 of the new cases are yet unlinked, while 13 have been linked to clusters or previous cases. And as of noon today, there are a total of 926 cases here. Earlier tonight, the multi-ministerial task force held its media conference over video for the first time. And Manpower Minister Josephine said that more private sector firms need to have social distancing measures like telecommuting.
In the CBD, in the Central Business District, we estimate that it's only about 40%. So in the CBD, we estimate through our inspections and various other info sources, it's only about 40% of stay-at-home telecommuting. So there is a lot of scope for us to do more, especially the private sector firms. I want to emphasize this. Employers must allow your employees to work from home as far as reasonably practicable. This applies to all workplaces, regardless of size. And it should be for all times, all days, and not sometimes, some days. If the nature of work can allow for work to be done from home, companies should ensure that all their employees work from home.
Mrs. Chiu said that MOM will amend regulations to sharpen enforcement, including increasing the number of enforcement officers fivefold. There will be then over 100 officers across the country. It will be an offence for companies who don't put social distancing measures in place, especially when the nature of work allows it. Mrs. Chiu said that if the ministry assesses that a company hasn't made a serious effort to implement telecommuting, it may have to issue a stop work order.
It's not our intention to simply issue a stop work order without considering the circumstances of the companies. We are looking for evidence that the companies have made serious attempts to implement stay-at-home telecommuting arrangements. But we are also mindful that this is not always possible. So it will depend very much on the specific circumstances of each company. So we will apply a measured approach. We will have to look at the company's specific circumstances. And if the company is really not taking it seriously at all, then we have no choice and we will not hesitate to issue the stop work order. And as to how long the stop work order will be effective for, it will also depend on the severity of the case. Whether in fact the company is, just a minor, a violation of the principle, or it's really completely overboard. Now then, to the question of whether there will be fines and penalties, the answer is yes, we are looking to amend the regulations in order to be able to do so.
Meanwhile, the Monetary Authority of Singapore and the financial industry have collaborated on measures to help individuals and SMEs facing temporary cash flow difficulties. The relief will be provided on an opt-in basis. Among these measures, individuals with residential property loans may apply to their respective bank or finance company to defer either principal payments or both principal and interest payments up to December 31st. Those with life and health insurance policies may apply to their insurer to defer premium payments for up to 6 months while maintaining insurance coverage during this period. SMEs, meanwhile, may opt to defer principal payments on their secured term loans up to December 31st. Banks and finance companies may apply for low-cost funding through a new MAS SGD facility for loans granted under Enterprise Singapore's SME Working Capital Loan Scheme and Temporary Bridging Loan Program. Corporates, including SMEs holding general insurance policies that protect their business and property risks, may apply to their insurer for installment payment plans. National Development Minister Lawrence Wong said the number of returning Singapore residents has dropped and has resulted in a decrease in Singapore's imported cases. He added that this is why the government focus now is on locally transmitted cases.
Measures that we have announced, as I said, took effect on Friday, and we have said that they will be in place till the end of the month. So this is just a few days since we have taken effect. I think it's still too early to tell. We need some time for these measures to be fully implemented. And that's why today our focus is not on new measures, but effective implementation and full compliance with the measures that we have already introduced. There is a view, I think, that people sometimes say, why don't you don't have to wait, just go for the drastic measures now. Go for the so-called lockdown today, do it for 2 weeks, and then life can go back to normal. And I have to clarify, there is no such magic solution as a 2-week lockdown and then we are free from the virus. It will not happen. We could do more drastic measures sooner, but even if we were to do that, we will not eradicate the virus. It will still be with us. And we will still have to continue with this set of measures like what we are today for maybe months. So we are in this for the long haul. Right? We have to be prepared that we have to deal with this situation for quite a long period of time.
Well, Minister Lawrence Wong will be in the studio tomorrow for a special one-on-one conversation with the Straits Times senior health correspondent Salma Khalik. He'll talk about whether he experienced any anxious moments during this pandemic, as well as what Singapore has done right so far and how we can do better. Well, you can of course watch out for that, and you can always visit straitstimes.com for the latest on the COVID-19 situation in Singapore. I'm Olivia Quay. Have a good night.